It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
Wednesday, July the 31st. Holy crap, it's August tomorrow. Good morning.
It is August upon us.
Yowza. Man, time is flying when you're having fun watching the Olympic Games. It is time right now, as it is 6:01, time for your top 5 at 6, the top things you need to know to start up your day. Speaking of the Olympics, yesterday it made the rounds, actually the last couple of days. Mick Jagger is in Paris enjoying the Olympic Games, and why not?
Yeah, I mean, hell, they're all there. You watch the Olympics, the gals doing their Olympic thing, and it's just star-studded. It's like the freaking Oscars.
And Mick is out there. He's 81 years old as of this week.
Yeah.
He's been shown, there's photos of him watching the events with his son, Devereaux, I believe his name is, who's like 9.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe 10. And he's just out. He looks like a grandpa. In this case, he's a pa.
Looks like a grandpa. Looks like a great grandpa.
And he's just enjoying the games. Every time I see a photo of him, though, everyone around him is just completely nonplussed.
Yeah. Well,
either they don't know who he is, or they've already sent their text message to their friends going, I'm sitting next to Mick Jagger. Holy crap. One or the other.
Either they know who he is, they just haven't seen him up close, you know. It's just, when it's striking. Meanwhile, Tom Cruise, he couldn't get in or out of the Olympics. He just got mobbed. I wonder if you got to watch some of it.
They have a different publicist.
Yes.
Yeah, Mick's like, no, I don't want the mob today. And Tom Cruise is like, of course I want the mob today. What are you kidding me?
He's there.
Number 4 on your top 5 at 6, there was a auction, if you will, Heritage Auctions, just past week had a whole bunch of movie paraphernalia for sale. The bikini worn in 1983's Return of the Jedi by Carrie Fisher. The 7-piece ensemble, bikini brassiere, bikini plates, hip rings, an armlet, and bracelet was auctioned off for, oh gosh, let's see. 150. Wait, I'm losing it. I've got all these prices.
175.
$175,000 someone paid for Carrie Fisher's bikini from the movie.
I remember that boner in 1983. It was a good one, fun, and a little disappointed my bid of $168 lost out.
Yeah, you can't.
That's all I had on me.
We can recall the boners from 1983, but we can't actually call them back. You know what I mean?
No, I'll never have that teenage
gone.
boner again. Yeah, that was a fun scene. George sexing it up a little bit for us teenage boys that were just starting to lose interest in Star Wars with the Ewoks and the goofy stuff. You know, we're like, that's what I liked when I was 11. Wait a minute, what's going on here?
Tuesday's gone with the wind, like so many mid-'80s boners. Sad. Hey, over in number 3 on your top 5 at 6, in Scotland, we've got a problem. The good news is more medical students than ever. More kids applying and being accepted to medical colleges throughout Scotland. That's great.
Us Gen Xers will need you.
We're going to need you. The problem is so many students studying medicine, the result is a shortage of cadavers. In Scotland, they're saying, hey, guys, we got a problem. We need more cadavers. We don't have enough.
I feel like we have an abundance here in the United States.
Can't they split them up?
Yeah, yeah, or just share. Can you guys share a cadaver today?
I know you've already. I know you've already gone through that, and you've already removed everything. But just put it back in. And I mean, it's like the game. It's like the game Operation. You could just start over. Just unplug the board, put the things back in there.
Yeah,
see what happens.
Those bodies now. You can just donate. I'm an organ donor, but that doesn't mean. Am I going to end up in a medical class somewhere?
Yeah, you might.
They're going to open me up and go, oh God, kids, listen. This is why you don't do all those vices. There's going to be black goo in there.
That's it's not too late to imagine there being a term in a medical book one day called ZEP syndrome.
Kind of proud of that.
Number 2, ZEP syndrome might fall under this. Number 2 on the top 5 at 6, a United Airlines flight bound for Boston was rerouted on Sunday due to here it comes yet again, biohazard situation. It left crew and other passengers all in distress while vomiting on a plane. This is a passenger experienced a medical emergency. The pilot called in and said, especially with this being a biohazard, we need to get the plane on the ground ASAP. Whatever was happening on this plane, we don't have specifics, caused, again, crew and other passengers to vomit pretty much a lot, if you will. You're just every month another reason just to book a Greyhound bus ticket. You know, you just open the window on a bus and let it fly.
I'm beginning to think so. A little bit of the audio.
The crew, and it sounds like it's quite bad back there. It's still really bad. The crew is vomiting, and passengers all around are asking for masks. It sounds like, I think, 20-minute flight to Cleveland is...
All right, then they go on about diverting the flight there. But so the crew just en masse starts vomiting. People are asking for masks. Mm-hmm. I mean, like the ones that drop down for some oxygen, for some fresh air, or...
Not quite sure.
Yeah, what's going on there? But so something so bad happened... Because not everyone gets sick at the same time. So it's food poisoning or just some bacterial thing. It doesn't happen at the same time unless it's one of those somebody got so sick, diarrhea or something that everybody just started up-chucking.
It's vomiting and yawning, the two things that can be incredibly contagious in tight quarters.
Never trust a yawn at 35,000 feet.
Finally, your number one on the top 5 at 6, Suni Lee of St. Paul is a gold medalist yet again. Nice. Team gymnastics, the U.S. women rocking the Paris Olympics. Simone Biles, of course, leading the team to victory. But boy, Suni Lee was just outstanding yesterday. Lakeville's Reagan Smith took home a silver medal in the women's 100-meter backstroke. And plenty of other Minnesotans still at work in the Olympics, but those two were pretty exciting.
Yeah, here's Suni.
We picked each other up, lifted each other up when we needed it, so it just felt amazing to be back out here, and this medal is absolutely insane. I literally cannot stop smiling, but yeah, it was so fun, and I'm so happy right now.
Well, pretty amazing. Health concerns not that long ago for her. Serious problems with her kidneys, was it?
Two kidney diseases. Not one, but 2 kidney diseases. Very rare at the same time, and it took them a long time to get it corrected. She said she put on 45 pounds or something like that. Can you imagine a small athlete like that putting on that much weight?
Tiny. Yeah, they're all so teeny. They're so beautiful, too.
Yeah, and not only did she survive it well, and she came out of it healthy, but then worked herself back to, Olympic gold. Damn.
Oh, that's right. She's incredible. She's 21. That's a lot to handle in your late teens and early 20s. So congratulations to Suni Lee. Congrats to the women's gymnastics team. The older I get, the more mind-blowing all of that gets. Just any gymnastics, men or women's, I'm watching it, and I just stare at all. I love basketball. I love soccer. I don't have any words to describe what goes through my brain when I watch gymnastics.
Right. How high do you think the basketball backboard is at the very top? How high do you think that is?
Well,
probably
10-foot rim, so what, 13 feet.
All right, they stopped Simone Biles doing her floor routine, one of these crazy tumbles. She launches in the air, and then they stop her at the peak of her launch and cap her head right there, 11 feet, 8 inches. That's how high. She's approximately,
incredible.
What is she, 4 feet 11,
4
I think?
feet 8.
Okay. 4 feet 8.
Yeah.
Her head was at 11 feet 8 inches, well above the rim.
There's a great picture of her posing with Shaquille O'Neal. And just the contrast is just startling.
And I promise you, Shaquille O'Neal watches what she does and sits there like we do and goes, I don't even have words to describe what I'm seeing right now. She is the winningest gymnast in U.S. Olympic history. That is an Olympiad for the ages. This would be a perfect time to look back.
Speak into the mic, bitch.
On this day, July 31st, 1990, with a win over the Milwaukee Brewers, Nolan Ryan became the first and only pitcher to hit 300 wins in the 90s. 324 wins in his career. Struck out 5,714 batters. He threw 7 no-hitters, 12 one-hitters, and 18 two-hitters. And he did not go unanimously into the Hall of Fame on the first ballot.
Who? What jerk?
He got 98% of the votes because there's just always a couple of douchebags.
There's always, especially when you talk about sports writers. I watched the documentary on him that came out in the last year or two.
Yeah.
And you know what? It was rather dull. It just wasn't sensational. Turns out all that guy did was put on his uniform, go out, and strike out a hell of a lot of people and win a lot of games.
Just throw fire.
Yeah.
Just throw fire. I've always said he's going to wake up one day and his arm is going to be laying in the bed next to him. It just fell off.
Well, then put it in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no question. On this day in 2007, Ooh, any Timberwolves fan remembers Kevin Garnett sent packing to the Boston Celtics for Al Jefferson, Sebastian Telfair, Theo Ratliff, Ryan Gomes, Gerald Green, and 2 first-round draft picks. And, man, that trade worked out great for Minnesota.
Damn, son of a...
Good Lord. A year later, the Celtics were champions, of course.
Did he win one with them?
Celtics and the Lakers back. The NBA, how happy was the NBA after 6-7 post-Jordan years of no one caring? Suddenly, Lakers and Celtics back in the finals.
I did start watching just a little less basketball right about then. After he won with Boston, I was like, whatever.
Man, that was rough.
Big movie reviews, the latest news on rock stars, celebrities, and world-class athletes, and plenty of juicy love nuggets, too. We're heading west for Mike Evans' Hollywood Report on the KQ Morning Show.
Hey, good morning, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Good morning, Steve and Zeb and Tony. Good morning, everybody. We start off with a little family feud news. So, Meghan Markle is reportedly shopping an exclusive, scandalous, tell-all, expose, a book about the royal family that promises to shake the world. See, how can I put this? Prince Harry, who is whipped, if you know what I mean, is 100% against it. Well, I would hope he would be against it. So sorry to hear that Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's adopted son, Pax, he's now 20 years old, was involved in a serious accident when the moped he was riding, without a helmet, crashed going 35 miles an hour into a stopped car at a Santa Monica stoplight. Now, people who know Pax say he may be, how do I put this, the most, I guess you could say, brainwashed of the Pitt-Jolie children by Angelina against Brad. Pax recently called Brad a dirty blankety blank blank. I tell you what he really said, but he couldn't put it on the radio. Also, Pax wishing Brad serious ill health? What? By the way, I've always thought there was something a little askew with Pax. For the record, this is his 4th moped accident. Show business. Despite the heat, despite the crime, despite the very high prices, Broadway shows have been 96% sold out for the top 15 Broadway shows this summer. Wow, that's amazing to me. Here's some great news. Disney has agreed to all their employees' demands, thus avoiding a strike, even allowing them sick leave. Well, finally, something good from Disney. TV news. As you know, I love documentaries, and there is a lot of talk about the Martha Stewart documentary. Word is it's shocking, full of surprises. Now, this is an unauthorized documentary, and while Martha tried to stop it without success, apparently we'll see it around Christmas time, I hear, on Netflix. 5 gold medal winner Simone Biles has been offered her own talk show on the BET network. And speaking of Simone, who are these clowns criticizing her hair during the Olympics? Shut the front door. Leave her alone. She's fabulous. Hey, and the first NFL preseason game is tomorrow night, ABC, ESPN, Texans versus Bears. I can hardly wait for the Vikings. And I hear that sometime during midseason, the NFL Network will include a segment where AI will predict winners of games. How about that? Real life and TV show Veep star Julie Louis-Dreyfus will travel and campaign for the current Veep Kamala Harris as she makes her run for president only in Hollywood. Have a great day, Minneapolis, St. Paul. We'll do it again tomorrow. Mike Evans, see ya.
The Mike Evans Hollywood Report, weekdays on the KQ Morning Show. Zep, Tony, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show, Wednesday, July the 31st. What's the old song by the Byrds? So you want to be a rock and roll star? Well, listen now to what I say. Get yourself an electric guitar, sit right down, and learn how to play.
There it is.
So you need the electric guitar, you need the amp, you might need the wah-wah pedal, and you definitely need a ton. I mean, just a big old bag of drugs.
Yes.
get the drugs going. At least that's what one person must have thought. A Guitar Center, which is a chain, a giant musical instrument store. You see them all over the country, Guitar Center.
We got several around the metro here.
Yeah, there's one in Gwinnett County. That's north of Atlanta, Georgia. At the Gwinnett County Guitar Center in a town called Lawrenceville, employees discovered an amp loaded with drugs, cocaine, methamphetamine stuffed into this amplifier. It was delivered to the Guitar Center. The box had an out-of-state shipping address, but was returned to the Guitar Center. That was listed as the return address. Employees just opened it up going, what's this amp? And inside, hoo-ha, there's a party waiting to happen.
I'm wondering how we know about this. How did this come to the attention of the authorities?
Clearly, there were some temps working that day who didn't understand who did not get the assignment. The police believe it's a part of a much bigger problem and shipping of drugs through the U.S. mail. They think this has probably been done before.
Yeah.
You think? I'm sorry. You think someone packed drugs with a bunch of musical equipment and got away with it?
Last year, I got a little mixing board, a Mackie mixing board from Guitar Center. I'm going to go home and tear that thing apart.
Last year in that county, Gwinnett County, Georgia, there were 4,500 pounds of drugs confiscated, shipped through FedEx and UPS, all because they got dogs sniffing, basically going into warehouses constantly sniffing stuff. 4,500 pounds of drugs just last year being shipped legally. Illegal substances, but people are just like, well, yeah, what are the chances it's going to get caught? You know how many FedEx packages go out in a day?
Whole billion of them. Well,
Tons.
Fight the good fight there, Vice.
John Lennon ordered from Owsley Stanley. Owsley Stanley, very famously, basically was the financial backer of the Grateful Dead in the early days. He kept them afloat by he was creating and selling acid. He was the king of West Coast acid in the late 60s. Owsley Stanley, a guy who moved to Australia in the 80s because he was convinced there was going to be a new coming ice age that would annihilate the northern hemisphere.
Well, I mean, eventually.
Got that one a little backwards. No longer with us. But Owsley Stanley provided a lifetime supply, in quotes, of LSD to John Lennon by packing it into a bunch of equipment. There were PA systems and amplifiers, and they would send all this stuff from San Francisco to the Beatles' offices in London. And the Beatles in the late 60s very accurately were like, no one's going to go through our stuff at the airport. We're the Beatles. Just ship it to us. And apparently Owsley, literally, they called it a lifetime supply of acid. What does that mean when you're John Lennon? Probably a lot of acid. He was just packing all kinds of stuff into speakers, monitors, cabinets, amplifiers. And again, being in the Beatles had its upsides. Nobody checked.
Kajoob.
These things happen. Yeah. Owsley, of course, also gave acid to Jimi Hendrix, Pete Townsend, and Brian Jones at the legendary Monterey Pop Festival of 1967, and he kept the Dead in good shape with that. So, the guy had his moments, but packing drugs, back to the original point, in your musical equipment.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm not trying to freak you out, but I've seen that.
Yeah.
I just think it's. Oh, that's right. What am I talking about? It's every tour. It's every musician. It's everybody I've ever met has something stashed somewhere.
Stumble upon it and go, whose is this?
When you see people, the acoustic guitar, and they drop the pick in there, and then they're shaking the guitar to get the pick out. Trust me, a lot more than a pick will fall out in most guitars.
That's why I'm always so shocked when I hear about that Paul McCartney busted, 1980, going into Tokyo with, 500 pounds of weed up his rear end. Yeah. I forget exactly how the story goes, but I'm thinking to myself.
A few ounces in his kid's parka hood.
Yeah. What are you doing there? You're Sir Paul McCartney. You don't have a guitar amp? Someone can shove that in? Roadie?
He said at the time, I thought, I'd never occurred to me they would check. And John Lennon commented, well, no, you have to understand that John Lennon said, no, I totally get that. No, we're the Beatles. No, and this is 10 years later after the Beatles broke up, and John Lennon said, we're the Beatles. He goes, no one goes through my bags anywhere. Like, they just had, basically, diplomats have that thing called the diplomatic pouch.
Right.
You can just go into any airport, and you go anywhere in the world, and no one's allowed to open it. Yeah. And that was kind of like the Beatles had that too, but it was just called suitcases and normal luggage.
And meanwhile, while Scotland Yard was kicking in the door of the Who and Rolling Stones every other weekend.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how you know the difference.
Yeah.
You guys have really great music, good stuff. Kids love you. You're not the Beatles. There's a kid from Alabama, the state of Alabama, that is, who's probably pretty happy he wasn't tripping balls yesterday on his own supply. He's a window washer, and he was in Mobile, Alabama. He works for a company called the Squeegee Squad, and they climb tall buildings and wash the windows.
Right.
He was on the side of a building 450 feet off the ground, which in Mobile, Alabama, that's a big-ass building.
Yeah.
In fact, it's the tallest building in the state, apparently. He got stuck. It was at the 33rd floor. His equipment, the thing called the descender, locked up.
Whoops.
He couldn't go up or down. He had nothing to do but call 911 and just sit there and hope that they were going to be able to figure him out. And while he was waiting, he called 911. Fire department said, "We're sending people right now." He was up there and he said, "Yeah, just call my mom, I think. Maybe I'll just give her a ring."
Sissy, here's Jared.
50-50 shot. Either it's going to lock or it's not. And when it locked, I was like, okay, well, here we go.
He calls me a lot from work, and he said, "Hey, Mom, I'm stuck here on a ledge, and I'm just hanging out here, waiting until to see if Will be able to get me down." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
We haven't had many problems out of our equipment. We've noticed things that we were trying to get replaced and haven't had the chance to.
Jared has always been kind of a daredevil, and he always, if it's a high-risk job, he's like, sign me up.
All right. Well, it sounds like he took it pretty cool. Just bored more than anything up there.
I saw a documentary once about it was a whole TV show about it wasn't Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, but it was people who got very, very wealthy doing jobs no one else wanted to do.
Yeah.
And there was a guy who started the first and then locked down the whole market window washing service in Honolulu. As that city was growing rapidly, its skyline was boosting. There was just one guy crazy enough to want to climb those towers and wash the windows. And it just told his whole story. Within 10 years of being the first guy to do it, he cornered the market and was just a multi-millionaire. Hadn't climbed a building himself in 7 years.
Not a boy.
And I was like, wow, that's kind of like George Jefferson with the laundromats.
Moving on up.
You just make it happen. You just do that job that other people don't think is too good. And I've never seen a window washer or a story about a window washer. Not thought about that guy in Hawaii since. Man, nice job, dude.
Before you know it, you'll have your own sitcom.
Speaking of Alabama, speaking of the South, something down in the South you see all over the place. You don't see up here very often. Bass Pro Shops. There is going to be a Bass Pro Shop opening in Hermantown, that is west of Duluth. This will be the first Bass Pro Shop in Minnesota. The same company that brings you Cabela's. So you see Cabela's more often, I believe, in this area.
We have several Cabela's out here now.
If you want to go into a Cabela's, but you have a southern accent, you go into a Bass Pro Shop. That's how that works. But they're opening one up north. And so if you are looking for a little bit of fun, just in case you're wondering what happens at a Bass Pro Shop that's a little different from the average Cabela's, a whole lot. Because let me tell you, people love to jump into the giant fish tanks at Bass Pro Shops all over the South. There seems to be competitions. How soon after they open can you jump in to the big tank? All over, regularly, people are just doing all kinds of things. There was a man in Florida who stole a 50-pound tarpon from a Florida store.
Yes.
They have these giant fish tanks, and if you just open one up, some redneck is going to show up and hop in. That's just a guarantee. That's a given.
I can't wait to report on this soon. By the way, this happened in Fort Myers not long ago, maybe a few years ago. Here's some audio.
What a crazy guy. Oh, my God. He did a nice dive, but he's a daredevil for sure. I'm sure the water is good for the fish. I'm not sure how good it is for the person diving in.
It'd be fun. I think it'd be fun, but it's not really worth it to get in trouble. I've seen it on TikTok. That's it. So yeah, it's kind of funny.
Oh, they'll be having that happening. A little west of Duluth. There's a Bass Pro Shop in Memphis, Tennessee that is, it sits in, you may remember this, go back to the 80s and 90s. There's an arena, a giant arena in Memphis, Tennessee that's a pyramid. It sits right on the Mississippi River. It looks like from the outside a big black reflective pyramid.
Okay.
It was there to hold giant concerts and NBA games and rodeos. It's a full-sized 12 or 13,000 seat arena. It is now a Bass Pro Shop.
Oh, yeah?
It is the biggest Bass Pro Shop in the world. And as it sits right on the Mississippi River, you can test drive boats.
Oh, really?
They let
that's
you
cool.
go test drive all the fishing boats, and it's awesome. I've just seen it from afar. I haven't actually gone, but there's no shortage of people, and that serves Arkansas, West Tennessee, southeastern Missouri. No shortage of folks who are like, oh, I'm gonna go to that pyramid and test drive me a boat.
Number one retail business in the United States, hunting and fishing is now a $1 trillion industry in the United States.
That's a lot of fish and animals out there with a swivel head.
When I was growing up, it was like you had flannel, wool, you had some long johns,
Yeah.
Now I go in there and I was into Shields, same kind of deal. Went in the Shields, saw the Ferris wheel and everything, and I literally just wanted to pick one little thing up. I'm like, well, I'll go over to the sporting goods store, and you walk in there past the, families are there just hanging out like it's Valley Fair for the weekend.
Yeah, there's a candy store there.
They have a shooting gallery now. It's an electronic shooting gallery, an arcade thing, but it's not an arcade. It's like the size of it's an entire arcade. I was there for an hour. My daughter said the kids like, Dad. I'm like, what, do you mind? Oh, I don't get out here very often.
Did you see the creepy John Randall robot?
No, I did not. It was hard to see the entire story, but we're going to be on vacation one of these days. I'm going to spend my entire week just going to Cabela's, Bass Pro Shops, and Shields.
I know a country songwriter and a producer, a guy from Nashville named John Randall. And every time people up here reference John Randall, I have to do not that John. The big John Randall. Yeah, sorry, not my friend who writes country songs.
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
I'm always like, what about him? How do you know him? It's taken me a while to figure that one out. Think about how much you eat in a day, in a week, in a month. Think about the variety of foods that you go through. Even if you're someone who says, I have a limited palate, you eat a lot more things than you might think. What if somebody looked at you and said, you can only eat 13 foods ever from now on? What would you pick? And what if they said, you don't get to pick? I'll tell you. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Wednesday, July the 31st. Good morning. As we are rolling through the day, it's important that I reference mention the fact, I should say, that Slash from Guns N' Roses celebrates the blues with his new album, Orgy of the Damned, along with his Serpent Festival tour. Win a trip for two. You can win a trip for two to Nashville, Tennessee, where you will attend a gig on the tour. You'll get to an exclusive Slash soundcheck experience. You'll take home an autographed Gibson guitar and his new album. Text the national keyword Serpent to 95819 right now to enter for a chance to win. What if a doctor came to you and said, I know what the problem is. I've got it all figured out. It's fine. You've got something we call mast cell activation syndrome.
Cool.
And then you go, what is that? And he says, well, it's a condition where you have repeated episodes of anaphylaxis, allergic symptoms, hives, swelling, low blood pressure, difficulty breathing, along with severe diarrhea. And then you go, yeah, I have all those things. And he goes, okay, well, you know what? We've done a lot of tests. Basically, you're allergic to pretty much everything, and we're going to have to limit your diet. And what if he said, I'm only going to let you eat 13 things?
Pizza, French fries, fast food, pizza.
That is not the list, my man.
No.
There's a woman in California, or she's a kid. She's 21. I can't call a 21-year-old a woman. Jenna Gastetner. And she has been told she's allergic to pretty much everything except for the following. She can literally eat 13 things without having severe reactions.
All right.
White fish.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Turkey.
Fine. So far, so good.
Green beans.
Okay.
Zucchini.
No.
Cucumber.
Yeah.
Lime. Dates. Grapes, raspberries, pears, chia seeds, water lily seeds, and olive oil.
And spaghetti.
That's it.
Wow.
That's it.
Super healthy but bored.
Whitefish, turkey, green beans, zucchini. After that, some fruits and some seeds and some oil.
I suppose it's just, end it all right there, and I hope you come back as a healthier person.
Man.
I mean, no, there's not enough quality of life there to go on.
Absolute no-nos from her. Rice, pasta, bread, crackers, red meat, chicken, lettuce, apples, lemon, seasonings. Yeah, nothing.
Remember
Lettuce?
this.
She can't
can't eat lettuce?
Yeah.
You heard me.
Keep this in mind. The doctors, I'm not looking at this on the internet right now. I'm just kind of, shooting from the hip, but I think wrong 80% of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, just most of the time, don't listen to a damn thing they have to say.
I had a thing. This is now 10 years ago. I was about to say, it was like 3 or 4 years ago, and I realized it was 2014, and that's 10 years ago. I was having a weird pain after meals on my right side. I went to the doctor, and he said, your gallbladder, you've got what he called sludge. And he goes, now we can. A lot of people get their gallbladder removed. You really don't miss it, but it does. It is a part of your system. It's there. And he said, you can just kind of watch a few things. He said, just cut out red meat, dairy, and alcohol for a few weeks. No, just to see if there's a difference.
Sure.
Led me to talking to, which I did, because I was like, I don't want to have surgery for this.
Yeah, he's just punking you, dude.
And then no, but check this out. And then I ran into a friend of a friend, and she's a nutritionist, and she said, this will sound crazy, but I've had great luck, and I recommend this. And long story short, I did a green juice and only pureed vegetable thing for 3 weeks, for 21 days.
Oh, that's a long time.
And a really long time.
Yeah.
And the side effect was I lost a bunch of weight, which I knew would come back. Some of it would.
Thank God.
But man, did I feel amazing. Sleeping like a baby. Mentally, the clarity mentally was unreal.
Yeah.
And I just thought to myself, I am reborn. I'm never going back. And within about 3 months, I was back.
Yeah, they always are.
But so I can only imagine. I mean, I'm literally sitting there at this time in my late 40s going, I've never felt this good. I felt better than I felt in my 20s.
Yeah.
And yet, a few months later, I'm like, nachos? Yeah, let's do that. Let's get it back on.
I mean, isn't that, we're just, and by the way, obviously I was kidding about the doctor thing. I've already heard from a nurse friend this morning. You're an idiot. Well, thanks, sweetheart. I thought you forgot about me. Thanks for listening. And you're right. I was just, playing with the docs out there a little bit and trying to get people riled up. But I was in a relationship with one of these kooky gals. Might have been her. I'm not sure. That we did one of these fasting things, and then one of these we drank lemon juice with cayenne pepper in it, and it kind of cleansed the system out. That's what we did for 3 days. And you're right. I felt light. I felt chipper. I felt positive.
You didn't just feel chronically hungry?
No, I did for a while, but then that passes. It really does. I mean, for the first day, whining and pissy and moaning. I'm hungry. I want to eat some pretzels. Well, I can't have pretzels. But anyway, once I got through that, felt fantastic and so good that I broke up with her immediately and just got back to just started drinking some beer and eating some nachos.
I was surprised because people said that if you do any extended fasting, or in my case, I was having tons of juice and like I said, some pureed vegetables, kind of soupish type of things at night. About a week in. I'd say, probably a full week though. But I did stop hunger pangs. Just stop.
Yeah,
you're a little like you would feel like nice to eat something, but all of a sudden you just go get a glass of water and it does the job. And then I couldn't believe how alert I was. I wasn't yawning. I wasn't feeling sluggish. I was just on fire. It was amazing.
I was never impressed with anyone who went through one of those hunger strikes again. That whole Gandhi thing. I'm like, whatever, dude. He only really suffered for the first day.
I think get over it. Get over yourself, Mahatma.
What did you have first after that broke your streak?
I had a salad without any dressing, just some vegetables, just chopped. And it was really good. I was like, wow, I've missed chewing.
Yeah. And then you moved on to the nachos.
No, just slowly brought back stuff. Yeah. It was it really wasn't bad. It beats it beats the alternative. Speaking of alternatives, in the 10 years since, no shortage of information out there about Ozempic and all those type of specific drugs that are, I guess, originally
shortcut drugs.
Originally thought of as a great aid for people with diabetes, and then they've realized, like, wait, these things are really helpful in the weight loss. My own doctor told me one day, he said, it's amazing with these drugs, the side effects, there aren't. I mean, some people have bad stomachs with them, but 2/3 of the people that take these drugs, they lose the weight and really like their cholesterol goes down, the blood pressure goes down. They're just like they're kind of miraculous how much they're changing lives. A big problem right now, the FDA says a lot of people, unfortunately though, are overdosing on Ozempic and similar weight loss drugs. They're taking sometimes 20 times as much as the intended dose. Yeah, I don't know much about these medications, but I guarantee you that's not how that's supposed to work.
So what you're telling me is there's a drug that's come along that's very beneficial to humanity, and some people are overdoing it?
Go figure.
I don't.
Yeah.
And they've jacked up the price?
Right. That's like when we get an 8-ball, my friends and I on a weekend, say just this last weekend, just got ourselves an 8-ball, and I'm like, one line, everybody gets one line, right? And then we'll have a couple of beers, and then we'll go out and see a nice movie tonight. But everybody just has to snort it all up, and then it's gone. And then
it's the worst.
What have we done?
Yeah, it's terrible. I don't know how many sunrises I have to sit through before people get the hint that, listen, we don't have to do it all tonight.
Of course, Adderall, the whole thing. Every time we got the boner pills, came along, and people are just, eating them like candy. So I guess I guess that's par for the course. Just remember Ozempic butt.
I do sometimes think to myself, if we really cared, we would teach like financial literacy and nutrition would be more important than reading and writing at first. Just start in first grade. Explain literally how food works. Explain how money works, and then most of the problems of our society would be gone. But at my age now, I'm certainly more than capable of learning about these things. I just simply refuse to. Do you remember? Do you chart what you eat? Are you keeping up with food daily, even in your subconscious? Well, let me put it to you this way. If I said, okay, today is Wednesday, let's go back, start Monday morning, tell me everything you've eaten. Could you do it?
No, maybe. I think with some accuracy I could. I mean, what is it today, Wednesday? Yeah, I could do the last 48 hours, I'm pretty sure.
Apparently, it's less. Just over half people can at any moment tell you what they've had in the last 3 days. People tend to forget what they ate, especially when it comes to snacking. People, they say the average American skips 3 meals a week, but has 3 snacks every day. So you're skipping a meal, but then you're snacking 3 times. By the way, the most popular choice of snack, chips and fruit. Talk about the yin and yang.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Crackers, cookies, and then ice cream. I don't see ice cream as a snack. Ice cream is dessert or a reward.
A reward, yes.
But if you're snacking on ice cream, man, that's top level.
Yeah. You get a pint of ice cream there in the fridge, and I've been known to, 1 spoon at a time. I'm that guy that will just, go.
You just graze.
For example, the Chips Ahoy, the bag of cookies, I will go over and take a cookie out, go sit down, eat it on just a cookie. Eat it there while I'm watching television, and about 2 minutes later, pause, walk back over, get another cookie. Just want a cookie, and then, so I've been known to graze with cookies. I've done that with ice cream, but, I don't typically think of it as a snack.
And you get your steps in as you're doing it.
You're supposed to, didn't they say just eliminate all meals and just only snack? Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
The grazing technique.
Pissing off a lot of people in this segment.
That works for Marley Gorman. That child will just graze all day, and then it's like, will you on dinner? No, I'm okay. I'm like, yeah, you just walked in the kitchen. She is, in her life, she's now 22 years old. She has stood for more meals than she has sat for. I guarantee it. I mean, and it could be, when she was a little kid, you just walk in the kitchen, it'd be like, summer day, it'd be 9:30 a.m. or 9:30 p.m. You just walk in the kitchen and she's just standing there, always healthy. She's the kid who literally has like celery sticks and hummus, and I'm like, what are you doing? Nothing. You getting a snack? Yeah. I'm like, well, that's not nothing. Yeah, it is. And then just nonstop grazer.
That probably works. If you're just going to graze healthy, you're probably getting all you need out of the deal.
I got snacky yesterday. We went up to, where did I tell you we went?
Taylor's Falls.
Thank you, Taylor's Falls. Did a little 3.5-hour kayaking excursion.
Oh, cool.
And that's on the old St. Croix River, at a part of the river where apparently there's no current. I was surprised. I've never kayaked at a place where you did 100% of the work to move forward. I was like, I'm just sitting here. There was, I guess towards the end, there was a little bit of momentum, just sitting there, but real placid, very calm day on the water.
Yeah.
But it was gorgeous. What a great way to kill a few hours, and really, man, did my brain settle down. Didn't have the phone. Didn't have anything. Just had my wife and my daughter and a couple 3 kayaks and a little cooler. A little Gatorade along the way. Man, it was fantastic.
That's just a great reset. I was up over the weekend in the Crosby-Ironton area. They have those mining lakes up there, Portsmouth mining lakes. They're just very deep lakes, clear lakes. Yeah. And I did some paddle boarding over the weekend and some pedaling and that sort of thing. And yeah, just for that, just kind of a reset. And that's Taylor's Fall is good for that. But yeah, as we come into August in the dry month here, you get that dead water. Head up there in the spring sometime.
I bet. Oh, yeah. I'm sure. No, it was great. And it was more of a workout than I was expecting. I mean, which is great. I totally appreciated that. Got in the car, went right to an Arby's.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's all the benefits. All the benefits of the workout.
I didn't say a thing. I paddle boarded and did some mountain biking. And one day I came in and I'm like, boy, you're burning some calories, build a little muscle. And then went right to the smokehouse and ate about 6 pounds of pulled pork and mac and cheese and
it's just
coleslaw, sloppy good coleslaw.
Hitting the road and we're like, well, let's, you should have gone to the bathroom. So as soon as we see a place that looks like it'll have a clean restroom and maybe get some iced tea or something, or a couple sandwiches and just curly fries and
some curly fries.
Yeah, no, we just had a great workout. That was nice. Let me go ahead and just chow down.
You've earned it.
These things happen.
Yeah, by the tubing, I remember that too. Tubing, going out tubing in August, worst time to go tubing. You get in your tube, everybody, and you just you look over the shore and you're still looking at the bus that dropped you off a half hour ago. You realize
we did have a bit of a start when we got in. We were just 20 minutes in, and all of a sudden I'm hearing this, and I'm like, what? And I turn around, and there's a big riverboat, like a big paddle boat coming. And I'm like, first of all, the water's like 1.5 feet deep, or maybe it's a few feet deep in the middle. But it was called like the Taylor's Falls Princess or something. Sure. And here it comes, and I'm like, no horn, didn't blast the horn at all. But and I'm like, guys, we got to get over to one side here. It was the weirdest thing, and then it just went right by, and everybody. This was the best part of it. There's a few people on the deck sitting in chairs or standing, and they're all looking at us, and we look back, and nobody waved. Nobody would be the first person to wave, so there was no waving exchange.
Wow, no, was it someone have a banjo?
And then I said that. I said I don't hear a banjo, so it's not a showboat. That's my exact words. And then it went past us, and then 20 minutes later, it was coming right back up towards us again. And that time, I looked over, same thing. Nobody would make the first move, so nobody waved.
Poor Ned Beatty. What if he regretted his underwear choice? He had just the old tidy whities.
Oh, he did too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Listen, man, he was just happy for the work. You know what I mean? They showed up in the trailer and said, "We're thinking some Fruit of the Looms." He said, "Just did the check clear? Let's go."
Well, we had the TSA. No, it wasn't a TSA agent. It was a airline counter person that had called in a week or two ago, ran into Ned Beatty. We were doing our brush with thing at the airport.
Oh, yeah.
And made a Deliverance reference that Ned Beatty didn't like. Dude, you were in the movie. I mean, I'm sure it must get old 20, 30, 40 years after the fact, but I mean, that's it, man. I bet he didn't make enough money on that.
There's not enough money to spend the rest of your life talking about that movie and that particular performance. Make no mistake about it.
It's the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
All right, I think we've got a couple callers locked in and ready to rock. We've got tickets for Extreme and Living Color, September 22nd. Tony, what is today's game of choice?
We're going to put a little twist on something that we play often, but we're going to make it more Olympic-y. We're going to fire off questions. You get it wrong, we'll probably mock you, but get it right. And you get to send 2,000 volts of raw electricity into the hulking physique of this unfortunate former athlete. Shock the shot putter.
Shock the shock putter. Right I like it, man. That's strong. All right, who's contestant number one?
Number one is our buddy Nathan from New Germany.
Nathan, good morning.
Good morning.
Are you a fan of these Olympic Games, my friend?
A little bit.
A little bit. Well, I'm sure you'll be tuning in next week for the shot put when all the field events start. So for right now, though, we're going to see if you can't shock the shot putter. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Nathan. Number one, a new Olympic event this year features athletes facing off in solo dance battles. It's called A, crunching, B, breaking, or C, spirographing.
C.
Oh, I am sorry. It is breaking or breakdancing.
Breaking and or breakdancing. That's right. Mano a mano. You know what? It's only a matter of time till they have rap battles in the Olympics. Get Eminem off the bench. See what he can.
Snoop's already there.
See if he can still bring it like an 8 Mile.
Yeah. Nate. Okay, we'll move on to number 2. Since the first modern-day Olympics in 1896, the United States has won the most gold medals. Who is number 2? Is it A, the former Soviet Union, B, Kazakhstan, or C, Machu Picchu?
A.
Oh, man. Sorry, man.
Wow.
Number 2?
No, you got it.
No, you got it.
No,
You got to shock the shot putter.
Shock is good.
You wanna shock that bastard. Look at him.
Yeah.
You don't know my intentions.
That's very true.
Take it like a man.
Wow, that's very true.
Nathan, number 3, this former 9-time Olympic champion competitive swimmer set world records that lasted for nearly 40 years until being surpassed by Michael Phelps in 2008. He is A, Mark Spitz, B, Kevin Swallows, C, Mitch Nibbles.
A.
A, Mark Spitz.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that was a good one.
Very strong.
I heard Kevin Swallows is just a rumor.
Is that guy doing okay?
He's holding up. His hair's getting a little frizzy.
Smoke coming out of his left ear.
Some beads of sweat.
You know, he's kind of taking on an Avery Schreiber look now that I think about it. I'm picturing Avery Schreiber.
Why? That's hilarious.
All I try to do is get Tony to laugh around here. I knew that would get him.
I love Nate. Just goes, why?
High score? Did I win something?
You got
Hang
2
on.
more, man.
You're 2 for 3, brother. Just keep up the good work.
All right.
Here you go, number 4, dude. For what event has France won its most gold medals? A, the equestrian, B, fencing, or C, smoking?
B.
B, fencing.
Oh, yeah.
Those French, like those little tiny swords, I thought.
They do.
French and their little tiny sword fights.
Oh, cute.
Do you want to have a cigarette and talk about sword fighting? Okay.
I used to smoke jetons.
No, of course you
Thought
did.
it was
Those
cool.
really wide packs that were too deep.
Man.
Smoke a jeton and think about how cool it would be if you could find an old Peugeot
Did you
or a Renault.
hold your cigarette between the thumb and the forefinger there? The pointer
of course.
finger? Yes.
I had a friend who owned a smoke shop, so I got to sample
Yeah.
different flavors.
There was one kid in our school who drove a Le Car, and so, of course, his nickname was Le Car. I mean, it was just it. He's never Donnie again. It was Le Car.
Yeah, you know it.
Nathan, you got one more. In ancient Greece, the prize given to the winners of the Olympics was A, an olive branch crown or wreath, B, a wheel of feta cheese, or C, a stone carving of Zach Galifianakis.
A.
Yes,
Man.
you've done
I
well.
think I was right on all of them.
No,
Except
you missed
that
the
first
first
one,
one.
That's
yeah.
the first one. You went 4 for 5, Nathan, which is incredible.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, really
It
good.
is.
Really good.
Have you ever done so well on a test, Nate?
I haven't taken one before.
All right.
I'm great.
Olympic historian Nathan comes in 4 for 5. All right, we're going to put you on hold, my man. It's time to go on to contestant number 2. Who have we got?
The lovely and adorable Michelle from Bloomington.
Michelle, good morning.
Good morning.
Have you been watching the Olympics?
I've been trying, but unfortunately, work's getting in the way.
Well, they're whatever you can catch. It's always worth it. All right, we're playing Shock the Shot Putter for Extreme and Living Color tickets. As you know, good luck, Michelle.
Thank you.
All right, let's go, young lass. Number 1, the Olympics were first held in Olympia, a religious sanctuary to honor which Greek god? A, Poseidon, B, Zeus, or C, Sherman?
I'm going to go B.
Damn straight. Wow, strong.
Michelle, number 2, in the ancient Olympics, athletes competed A, in colorful loincloths to show creativity, B, covered with tzatziki to convey sophisticated gourmet taste, or C, nude to show their physical power?
Nude. C.
Nude.
Correct.
Completely nude.
All right, Michelle, keep it up. You're 2 for 2.
Nude. Michelle, number 3. Which sport was never an Olympic event? A, obstacle swimming, B, hot air ballooning, or C, squash?
Wow. I'm going to go B, hot air ballooning.
Doop.
Snap.
Oh, snap. It was C, it was squash. Squash.
Oh, shoot.
Shoot. Watch your language.
Yep, sorry.
All right, Michelle, 2 more. Number 4, the small projectile that's hit back and forth in badminton is known as the A, shuttlecock, B, spotted dick, or C, fizzbin.
A.
Hell yeah.
Oh, right, my fizzbin.
I so wanted the other one.
No.
All right, Michelle, your last one. Who was the first female gymnast to score a perfect 10 at the Olympics? Was it A, Carmen Electra, B, Nikola Jokic, or C, Nadia Comaneci?
Can you repeat B and C again, please?
A was Carmen Electra, B was Nikola Jokic, C, Nadia Comaneci.
C.
Another shock.
Pulled that one out.
Yeah,
she
not
was
bad.
young and she was restless. Nadia Comaneci. That was Nadia's theme. That's the theme song to The Young and the Restless. That's right. That's what she said.
Nadia's theme? Oh.
Yeah, that was it. Michelle, very well played. You went 4 for 5. That's a tie with Nathan. But since Nathan hung up on himself, you are the de facto winner.
Oh, Nathan.
Michelle, congratulations. Not only did you go 4 for 5, you didn't hang up the phone. Great work.
I think Nathan nodded off.
All right, you get to go see Extreme featuring former Van Halen lead vocalist Gary Cherone. Remember that?
Yes.
Van Halen 3 for half a minute.
Half a minute.
Living Color, the great Vernon Reid on guitar still, of course. The 2 great bands, September 22nd. Have a great night, Michelle. Thanks for playing.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So the shot put coming up here next week during the track and field events. You know how much one of those bad boys weigh?
50?
Shot put is the ball.
Yeah, the ball.
Yeah.
16 pounds.
You knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
16 pounds. So it's pretty heavy. What do you think the world record of that is? Somebody's slinging that. How far could you sling that?
Hang on. They stick it under their chin. They cover it with powder. And then they
spin.
They got to put it. That's the putting part.
Yeah, the put.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have no idea because I think discus, and I know that's a lot farther.
Yeah, right.
Shot put, I'm flying
Stand
blind.
on the goal line, Steve,
Yep.
and throw that shot put out there to the other team's 25-yard line.
That's not true.
It's further than that. It's 77 feet, 3/4 of an inch, and it's been done by 2-time gold medal. Did a little Googling there during the game.
Let me see if I can name them.
Yeah.
Brian Oldfield.
No, Ryan Krauser.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I saw
You
that
remember
name.
that? That's one name stuck in my head.
When they came up with the list of the top 10 shot putters of all time, that name was in there. Ryan Krauser. He's one of ours. He has 2 gold medals already and world champions. And I don't know if he's even competing anymore since he did a couple of, I didn't Google that, but he's got a couple of gold medals and the world record at 77.
Whoa.
Threw that sucker almost the length of a football field. Did I get that right?
No.
I didn't?
No,
77 feet, not yards.
That's what I said.
Feet.
77 feet, 3/4 of an inch.
But a football field would be 100 yards.
Yeah, but you threw it out there towards the...
He threw it out there about 25 yards.
20. Oh, not the other team's 25.
Right.
I meant your 25-yard line that you're defending.
Which is still impossible to imagine.
Yeah,
for me.
16 pounds. No, I didn't mean the length of a football field.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I meant you're standing on the goal line and you threw it
to the 25.
To your own 25
Yeah, you're
yard.
right.
Sorry about that.
No,
77 feet,
I misheard it. So
3/4
imagine
of an
this.
inch. No, I missaid it.
Playing every sound we have.
That's the heaviest biggest bowling ball, 16 pounds,
Yeah.
but it's much smaller,
Right.
so it feels like it weighs 50 pounds when you're holding that thing up. That is that's nuts, man.
I'm sitting about 4 feet from you. I don't know if I could get it over to you.
Not a chance.
Yeah,
I guarantee you, not with one hand, maybe with
whipped
both.
her out there over 25 yards.
I would make no mistake about it. If you gave me one effort with a 16-pound shot put in one way or the other, I would hurt myself. I don't doubt
Drop
that
it on
for a
my
second.
foot.
That might then become the dumbest way I've ever hurt myself. I've already got a pretty good one, but I'm sure if we think about it, what is the dumbest way that you've ever hurt yourself? Have you set a personal best yet? I have. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Wednesday, July the 31st. Good morning. We were just talking about the field events that have not yet started in the Olympics, but will. The track and field. Track is great. That's always exciting. But the field is when you get back in and you remember, like, oh, yeah, discus and shot put and javelin and the triple jump and all those crazy, talk about toiling in anonymity. There's not a lot of love for the shot putters and discus guys out there.
No, I had to do some Googling just to figure out and realized we've won 2 gold medals.
Nice.
I don't know which 2 Olympics that Krauser guy did it in, but
whatever.
But he holds a world record. But yeah, you're right. Toiling and anonymity, and we were talking about that off the air. Sure, there are higher profile Olympic athletes. I'm sure the women's U.S. gymnastics teams has lots of resources at its disposal.
Sure.
But, for many of them, it's just, you go down to your local gym or out to your local archery, range or whatever, and just do it yourself after your job, between your studies, day after day after day, year after year, to have this moment.
It's like the they say, like the actors union in Hollywood. Like 90% of the people in SAG-AFTRA they can't afford the insurance. They don't pay their bills by acting. They're working other jobs. It's like the very few, the number of Olympians who are fully funded and then in fact have a chance to make a living at it. Not too many. Discus, or I said shot put. We were talking about earlier. That that shot weighs 16 pounds. Yeah. That's a whole lot in a small, thing you're holding in one hand to try to throw. The world record, just about 25 yards, which is 23 yards longer than I would probably throw one right now. There's no way I could get out of trying to throw a shot put without hurting myself. I mean, I don't know if I'd drop it on my foot, but I would definitely strain a tricep or something in the effort.
Even the pre-spin, you'd get dizzy and throw up and then fall down.
Yeah, no question about it.
That hammer throw, when they really get spinning like that. Yeah.
Boy, and when that hammer goes awry, ooh, boy. I used to get tired playing the track and field video game in the 80s where you're just pounding the buttons. Yeah, I mean, I would wear myself out doing that. But I have definitely injured myself in a stupid way more than one occasion. I mean, and I don't mean stuff like, I was riding a bike without my hands. We've all done that. Everybody tries that. I mean, like, you look back and I think to myself, my God, I was begging the universe to penalize me. I knocked myself unconscious once in my life, and I was goofing around with a buddy in a hallway of a dorm, and in the hallway there's the fire doors, which are always open unless there's a fire, and then they're closed. So I was running down the hallway, and I was pretending to a finger roll layup, and I happened to jump literally under the doorway of the fire doors. So what was an 8-foot ceiling was suddenly like a 6.5-foot ceiling, and I jumped with great effort. I mean, I leapt off my left foot like I was shooting a layup, and my head, I just went straight up. And I came to only a couple seconds late. I wasn't fully unconscious, I don't think. Yeah. But I went from leaping to lay in a Dr. J finger roll to laying on the floor, really confused with a concussion. And the first thing I heard, my friend goes, "My God, I've never seen more blood," which was not true. He was just being a friend, freaking me out. But I was out of it for the whole rest of the day. Never went to the doctor. There's no doubt I gave myself a concussion, but it was the 80s. Hey, what are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do? Walk it off, rub some dirt on it.
I mean, looking back, and if you've got a really stupid way you hurt yourself, we'd love to hear from you. 651-989-ROCK, the KQ Talk and Text line. Here's one. A few months back, I was wearing a sleep mask. I heard one of the cats getting ready to throw up. I sprung out of bed, mask still on, and went face first into the side of my wife's full height cabinet on my side of the bed.
Nice.
That's classic right there.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can't make this cat puke situation way worse by knocking myself out.
Oh, that is a good one. I remember I was thinking of all the times I've been injured and just doing dumb daredevil stuff, or, just being young, really. Mm-hmm. But the stupidest way, the one I'm most embarrassed of, is I tore my MCL, blew my knee out.
Okay.
Taking the groceries out of the car, kicking the door shut with one leg.
Are you serious?
Yeah, as a young man. I'm like, are you kidding me? People, how'd you get hurt? I was trying to jump a school bus with my motorcycle. Something. Yeah. I'm not going to. I was getting the groceries out of the car and was kicking the door shut with one leg and blew my knee out.
That is impressive.
No,
I never
that's
heard that
embarrassing.
One. Yeah, that is embarrassing. That's the perfect. Hey, man, I tore my my right bicep tendon in the summer of 2020.
Yeah.
Tore it, which is not unlike, if you tear your Achilles tendon and then the tendon just rolls up the back of your leg. Yeah. Well, if you tear your bicep tendon, that rolls up your arm, and then your right arm no longer works until you get surgery. Yeah. I found that out the fun way. But you know how I did it? I was moving a box spring mattress, which weighs 6 pounds, 7, and it's 6 or 7 pounds spread out over a large thing, so it feels like it weighs an ounce.
Awkward pounds.
I had already moved the much heavier mattress out of the way, and then I just went to pick it up, and it was just the weirdest angle, and my arm just went like.
Son of a. Nothing.
What's the noise I'm looking for? Nothing.
That sickening pop.
And I just went, I can't use my arm. I mean, and of course it was midnight, because that's when you do those sort of things. Yeah, totally.
There it is.
There it was. Thank you. That was great.
I broke 2 ribs one time playing Frisbee with my brother in the front yard of his house. We're adults. And he just, one went long, and I went bolting for it. I'll get it, and I'm looking back like I'm going to catch the pass or whatever. It's the Frisbee over my head. Wham! Full sprint right into a mailbox.
Oh, my God. That's not good.
2 ribs.
I was trying to amuse my buddy Alan Berman, and I used to like to do fake trips all the time, little stunts.
Sure.
And I rammed into this big hefty garbage bag, did the fake trip. Didn't know that there was a broken vase inside.
Oh, no.
So I had to go get stitches in my ankle. Thanks, Mom.
Yowza.
Thanks, Mom. You screwed up my pratfall.
Right.
Man, you hear about people who crack ribs or pull muscles sneezing. Like a really hard sneeze can do that. I threw my back out in 2013. I had an incident where I wrenched my lower back, and it was really bad. I mean, it was a full week of craziness. And so then you're a little susceptible to it for a while till you get an injury. It's easy to re-injure yourself. I re-injured myself about a month later. I grabbed a bag of groceries from the grocery cart and just twisted to put it in the back of the car.
Yeah.
The bag was, you know what it was? It was a bag that was holding a bag of breadcrumbs. That's how much it weighed. It was breadcrumbs for the stuffing for Thanksgiving, but just the twisting to my left, and my back just went out again. I went down in the grocery store parking lot like I'd been shot.
My God.
Completely, and I couldn't get up. My back is locked.
Yeah.
And when your back locks, my legs don't work. It's just like I'm laying there, and Rosemary's like, I can't believe. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
You're embarrassing me. Get up.
No, she just couldn't. I'm like, you're on your own here. You gotta figure out how to get me up, because I can't do this.
I got a buddy, Josh. He broke his arm. We're like, dude, what happened? Full cast, the whole thing, up past the elbow, I think. Mm-hmm. What happened, man? He fell asleep, and his arm went between the bed and the wall, and he said, I had a bad dream. Oh. And you broke your arm?
Oh, my God.
He's like, yeah. He goes, I just had a thing, where you wake up and you kind of twitch and you go nuts, much like Chauncey did recently. but his bed was between the bed and the wall, and he snapped that sucker.
Have you ever done the thing? I do this a lot. If I sleep on my left side primarily, sometimes on my back. Occasionally, I will roll over on my right side, and when I do, I extend my arm so my head is laying on my arm. And you'll cut off the circulation. Your arm can go to sleep if you're laying on it.
Yeah.
And I've done that. And then when I roll back over, my arm, which I don't feel because it's asleep, it flops. It'll slap my face. But I don't recognize it as my own. It feels like someone else is slapping your face in your sleep. That's happened to me a handful of times. And let me tell you something. You wake up from that like, oh, my God, someone's in bed and they're slapping my face. That'll freak you right out. That'll do it every time. I've never injured myself. The KQ Talk and Text line, we've got a lot of self-damagers out there. Let's go to the phones. Jim, good morning, sir. What have you got for us? Jim, are you with us?
Yeah.
What do you got, brother?
So, about 7 years old, me and my cousin were playing in the house. I don't remember what game, but we're running down the hallway. He's chasing me, and if you go straight, you go in the living room. You go left, you go to the kitchen. So I was going to, juke him out and pretend I went in the living room, and last second, I turned left. And, on those plaster walls, you got that steel thing on the corner.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I went full speed into that and cracked my skull wide open.
Oh, Lord. Yo, wow.
I'm laying on my mom's lap. My aunt wipes the blood away. She sees my brain and passes out.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, 2 for the price of 1 there.
It took like about 180 stitches to put it all back together.
Oh, my God.
Jim, I'm just glad you're able to make a phone call, much less function. That's incredible. You could have killed yourself for real.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's probably very true.
Holy smokes, that's incredible.
Well, I tell my kids that they can't identify my body, just look for the crack in my skull that goes from my eyebrows back to the middle of my head.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's Jim.
Right on, Jim. Thanks for the call, man. That's a great one. That is brutal. We've got another caller. I think we got Mike on the horn. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
We're great, brother. What have you got for us?
Okay, so I was in the Marine Corps, and we were training with the Navy SEALs for a couple weeks. So we were on the ship for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And anybody that's been in the Navy knows they've got those oval hatches that you got to jump through as you're, going through the ship. I'm 6'5", about 200 pounds at the time, and I'm chasing one of the guys through one of the hatches, and I jump up to go through the hatch, and they thought it was funny to slam the door shut.
That's funny.
I mean,
so I ended up fracturing a couple of vertebrae in my neck, and then I pulled a Mick Foley, and my tooth was stuck up my nose. And I had like 16 stitches in my mouth. And the guy comes back and says, "Come on, shake it off. We're going to get in trouble."
Shake it off.
And, so that was a bad day.
That is a brutal day.
That's an example of your buddies doing something stupid. We've all had those too. We play a little prank at our buddies, and they often get physical, and then they get seriously hurt. And you're like, "Oh no, dude, it was just a joke." Well, put my bone back in my body then.
Yeah. Mike, thanks for the call right there, brother.
Oh, thank you for your service.
I've told this story way too many times, but when I broke not one but 2 arms in a basketball freak accident. A guy had given me a little shove as I was going airborne, just enough to go, "Hey, jerk." He wasn't trying to hurt me at all.
Yeah.
He was horrified, and I loved having 2 casts to remind him of, "You did this to me."
Yeah.
Anytime I saw him after that. I think we have another caller on the horn right now. Is that Wooly on the phone?
Wooly.
Wooly, good morning.
Good morning.
What have you got for us, sir?
Well, so starting in 3rd grade, I got in a snowball fight and got hit in the face with the snowball, and ducked down behind a car to grab another snowball to fight back, and I hit my tooth on the door, and it busted my tooth out. So there I am in 3rd grade with missing a tooth, but fast forward a lot of years later to 18 years old, I got in a car accident, busted that same tooth out, or the repair, so I had to go around for 3 months with a piece of wire sticking out of the tooth and in my lips, out of my mouth. And then fast forward a number of years later, I got hit in the mouth with a pipe wrench at work, ended up with 4 veneers, and then about 6 years later, I'm eating some beans and rice with some bread, and one of those veneers busted off, and I ended up swallowing it.
Dear God, man. I've got 2 words for you, Wooly. Mouth guard. Just start wearing one.
Right.
Yeah.
Dangerous
Right.
beans and
Guard,
rice.
But I have pretty teeth. Everybody says I have a pretty mouth.
Oh, man. Gorgeous.
Your buddies tell you you have a
Guys
pretty
and the
mouth?
girls, a little get a little worried when the guys are looking at my mouth, but you know.
Man, that's like it's like the most beautiful sandcastle on the beach.
It is.
That's awesome. Hey, thank you for the call, brother. We appreciate it.
Have a great day, guys.
Man,
That's 2
holy
deliverance references
smokes.
this morning.
We've all hurt ourselves in dumb ways, to be sure. Also, we are talking on the show today about the Olympic Games. What would your walk-up, not your walk-up music, what would your medal music be? If you won the gold and they couldn't play your national anthem, what song would you choose? We've got the top 5 at 9, the things you will need to get your day moving in the right direction. Top 5 at 9 coming up. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Hey, guess what? The KQ Morning Show is hitting the road for another long weekend. KQ up north with Hoffman Weber Construction, October 3rd through the 6th at Cragen's Resort on Gull Lake. You can join us for a broadcast of the KQ Morning Show. We'll have a karaoke party. We're going to have a dinner cruise. There's going to be live music. A lot of fun all weekend with the KQ crew. Book your stay right now at 92kqrs.com. Sponsored by Hoffman Weber Construction and Cragen's Resort on Gull Lake. It's going to be a hell of a good time. Make no mistake about it. All right, it's time for the top 5 at 9. Here are the top things you need to start your day off on the right foot. The Olympics roll along. A lot of celebrities attending. None bigger, none more iconic, and none kind of funnier in a way than Mick Jagger. Photos all over the internet of Mick at Olympic events seemingly going unrecognized. When he's sitting in a chair and he's wearing street clothes, he just looks like an 81-year-old dude with long hair. Yeah. Every photo you see of Mick, he's in the stands, he's there with his son, and people around him either have already gotten excited and now they're over it, or more likely, because a lot of the people he's seated near seem to be teens and 20s and much younger people. I think a lot of people have no idea who he is.
Like when he goes to the dive bar and just hangs out there and people, send pictures to their dad later.
Yeah, it's
look who I found.
Right. Yeah, there was somebody, and he'll be standing behind him. There was someone he was at a bar one time, and someone took a picture with their date there or whatever, a selfie of themselves, and found out later Mick Jagger was standing right behind them. I don't know how that guy blends in. Like you said, maybe he just looks like somebody else's frumpy old gramp. Maybe he's got a derby on or something. I don't know, but he seems like the least inconspicuous person in the world.
I think there might be a part of it might be the fact that he's 5'9"? I mean, he's not a big guy. He's average height, a little less than average in certain parts of the world. So and he's tiny too. He's a very, very slight person. Yeah. And so he probably can, if you're not getting a dead-on straightaway look at him, he probably does blend in pretty nicely if he wants to.
Not standing on a stage 10 feet over your head.
Yeah, exactly.
There's Jumbotron.
There's not a 40-foot version of him over to the right doing the same moves. So that's how that goes. Check this out. Number 4 on your top 5 at 9. In the Wisconsin primary, the Republican Party primary in the state of Wisconsin, Assembly District 88. I don't know anything about the two men running against each other other than this. Benjamin Franklin is taking on Phil Collins.
That'd be a weird celebrity death match.
I'm telling you, man. Something in the air tonight, it's electricity. See what I did there?
Yeah.
I like the idea of Ben Franklin and Phil Collins squaring off.
Yeah, it's a tough vote. I don't know which direction I go with that. I mean, Ben, he's got the chops, right? He's got the resume, but Phil with those drum fills.
Oh, my God.
Bald versus bald.
Yeah, just I mean, 4 minutes of magic from Phil Collins on a regular basis, but Ben planting the seeds for a long time to come.
Yeah.
It's a toss-up. It's a tough one. Number 3 on your top 5 at 9, the gold bikini worn by Carrie Fisher in the movie Return of the Jedi. Let's just take a moment and think about that. I don't know what you were doing in 1983, but I was taking a second harder look at Princess Leia, let me tell you.
Yeah, harder being the key word there.
Yeah. Carrie Fisher rocking the gold bikini. It's a 7-piece set. It's not just the 2 pieces of the bikini. There's the bikini plates, the hip rings, an armlet, a bracelet. That entire set was auctioned off for $175,000.
I hope it's not just going to go into some trophy case. I hope someone's going to use it, put it to good use, have a little fun with it, maybe.
I would like to think that if you're going to buy that bikini, you or someone you know should be able to wear it in public.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a hell of a Halloween costume for somebody. For the right somebody. There was a whole auction of a bunch of stuff. A miniature aircraft from the very first ever Star Wars film went for $1.5 million. A miniature Y-wing starfighter, one of those that Luke Skywalker was flying. They only had 2 that they used for the entire film.
Yeah.
And one of those just went for $1.5 million.
Luke Skywalker flew the X-wing. The Y.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Sorry.
that was the other one.
Oh, my bad. Dork nerd.
Yeah, I'm a broke nerd. That's the problem. Obviously, these nerds went out and did something with themselves, made some money. I'm the broke nerd.
Okay, you know what? I'm
the
sorry.
worst nerd
I'm
to
sorry.
be.
Yeah, really. At least the nerds with all the cash have all the cash.
Yeah.
Number 2 on your top 5 at 9, a Bass Pro Shop will be opening in Minnesota. The first one, Hermantown, west of Duluth, will have their first Bass Pro Shop outpost. 70,000 square feet of space. It was formerly a camping world. Before that, it was Gander Mountain. Now it's Bass Pro Shop. A lot of Cabela's around the area, but this is the first Bass Pro Shop in the state of Minnesota.
Bass Pro Shop seems to be the only one of those that inspires people to do crazy stuff, so I'm really excited about this.
Well, that's because it got started down in Florida. So let's just think about that, Ryder. We're just bringing that Florida man attitude and mentality to Minnesota.
Hermantown, bring it on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go.
Here they are with the Bass Pro Shop Challenge. If you're not hip here, to the local rednecks, they like to take a plunge into the big aquarium.
What a crazy guy. Oh, my God. He did a nice dive, but he's a daredevil for sure. I'm sure the water is good for the fish. I'm not sure how good it is for the person diving in.
Oh, that's hilarious. You know what they ought to do? Just fill it with piranhas.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, do it.
I would absolutely love that. The Olympics are rolling along in Paris 2024. Oh, I forgot to mention this earlier. Did anyone catch we talked about a couple days ago, we talked about the U.S. women's rugby team.
Yes.
With the Alana Mar, the athlete who's gotten a lot of attention, who's just an absolute, but the entire team is filled, they're incredible to watch.
Yeah. So fun.
And did you see that they won the bronze medal? They lost to New Zealand, got kicked down to the bronze medal game, and they beat Australia. Anytime you beat Australia or New Zealand in rugby, if you just stay on the field, did you see how they beat Australia for the bronze medal?
Yeah.
They were down. They needed a touchdown in rugby terms. The clock was ticking. There were 30 seconds left in the game, and they were like, this is your last chance. You're down 6 points or 5 points. You're going to need this. And one of the players for the U.S. broke through the pack and ran 90 yards. It was like a kickoff touchdown return at the buzzer. One of the most exhilarating wins ever. And you could see how excited the Americans were. But the shot of the Australian women, every one of them in tears.
Devastated.
Guts ripped out, left field dressed by the American team right there. Incredible. Incredible bronze medal for the U.S. women's rugby team. And I do think I don't know that this is a moment quite like, say, the women's soccer moment in '99 when Brandi Chastain ripped her shirt off. But a whole lot of people are going, women's rugby? Hey, that's pretty awesome looking. It's got to be moving forward. That sport is slowly but surely growing. But let's talk about some of the big medal winners so far. Let's see. Locally speaking, Reagan Smith took a silver in the 100-meter backstroke from Lakeville. She's real fast in the water. Good Lord. But Suni Lee and the rest of the U.S. women's gymnastics team took gold in the team event. And the more photos we see, the more shots we see of that team, could there be a more endearing, more just charming group of girls in the world than right now? The U.S. It's just astounding.
The Fab Five. Here's Suni Lee of St. Paul.
We picked each other up, lifted each other up when we needed it, so it just felt amazing to be back out here, and this medal is absolutely insane. I literally cannot stop smiling, but yeah, it was so fun, and I'm so happy right now.
Mm-hmm. Pretty amazing. When you think about what she's been through in the last few years with a non-specific, because it's none of our business, kidney ailment, not one, but both of her kidneys were in real trouble last year, and she's earned her way back onto the team and then now gone gold. Pretty amazing. Think about the last Olympics, Simone Biles, the greatest women's gymnast ever. Remember, she withdrew from competition saying, I got to focus on my mental health. I'm not right.
They call it the twisties. Now, I mentioned earlier that they had a shot of her last night, Simone Biles, on one of these tumbling. It's the floor routine where they're out there dancing on the big mat and they do the big tumbles. And at one point, they freeze her. And at the top of her head, right there at the peak of her leap, she's 11 feet 8 inches in the air. Oh my God. Well over the basketball rim. She's 4 foot what?
4 feet 8 inches tall.
4 feet 8 inches tall, and she's 11 feet 8 inches in the air.
So she's married to
on her own power.
Yeah, her husband.
That's not the vault. That's just her tumbling.
Right. Her husband plays for the Chicago Bears. Yes. She can, with very little effort. Oh, I thought he got traded to the Bears.
He did get traded to the Bears.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I missed that part.
She was real excited to not have to go back to Green Bay.
I bet she was. She can get out of bed in the morning and before a cup of coffee, just jump over him.
Yes.
I mean, for real. That's insane, man.
You just jump on him.
When she pulled out of the Tokyo Olympics and said, and she said, like you said, the twisties, it's like the yips in golf. Gymnasts, they will find themselves second guessing. If there's anything you never want to be second guessing, it's yourself during that routine.
Yeah.
And she said, people said, well, it's a matter of life and death. And I remember people going, oh, please, it's life and death. To your point, she's upside down 11 feet off the ground. That's a matter of life and death. You can land on your head real easily in that.
Yeah.
She dominated the floor exercise, the bars. I mean, this is a woman who has 6 different gymnastic moves named for her now, or something. It's completely insane. Or she has 2 named after her. I think she does 6 things that no one else even attempts in all the different disciplines. Boy, what a great team! But the entire team, top to bottom, are just great to see them get the gold. My favorite story, I don't know if that's my favorite, but it's a good one. A fencing, as in the épée, the sword fighting. A woman from Egypt, Nada Hafez, got announced after her match the other day. She said, what appears to you as 2 players on the podium, there was actually 3 on the medal stand. Me, my competitor, and my yet to welcome to the world little baby. She's 7 months pregnant, competing in the fencing at the Olympics.
What if her competitor had stabbed her all the way through her abdomen?
Well, then she would have had the wrong equipment.
Right. I think they do. They bend pretty easily, don't they?
They bend pretty easily. That's really not supposed to be the way it goes.
Pointed ends. They've got a little tip on there that when they hit with the tip, it gives you a point or something like that. A little buzzer goes off.
Something tells me that there would be a market for actual sword fighting in the Olympics, though. I'm just saying. There'd be some. You'd get some eyeballs on that sport. But the Olympics are rolling along, and we're just getting in. Now, the track and field, it's so great the way they do it, because you start off with gymnastics and swimming and different things. And I always do this. I always forget, oh, wait, they haven't even done the track and field yet. That's like the second week. And then when that stuff starts, it's just like a whole nother set of theater to enjoy.
They have canoeing, kayaking, air rifles, and all that archery and kind of oddball stuff that we don't think about. But the marquee, some of the marquee stuff, obviously, U.S. women's gymnastics, Suni Brittany Lee and Simone Biles, just those two from the team will advance to the individuals next week.
Yeah, that's it's all great.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is KQ Morning Show, and my headphones are all messed up.
Oh, cripes. What happened?
They are. He's over there trying to figure
That was
there it
weird.
is.
I was like trying to...
Your ears are on wrong.
Headphones. He's got it's a shell game over there. He has 3 sets of headphones.
I didn't realize. I grabbed the wrong phones, and suddenly I'm like, I can't get these around my big head.
And you put them over your eyes. That was a mistake.
I can't get these over my pumpkin head. Something's happening. The Olympics are rolling along. We were talking earlier in the day. What would you do if you find yourself on the medal stand and the national anthem were unavailable? What song would you say to play? A lot of text messages, I should say, on the KQ Talk and Text line, 651-989-ROCK. Jim wrote in, Inagata Davida. Wow, that'll work. That's, 16 minutes long?
Be up there for a while.
What a dink.
I've got one here, Sweet Dreams by Eurythmics. That's a nice one.
Sure.
Kiss My Ass by Ted Nugent. All right, that's a statement. You're saying something?
After my own heart.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. American Pie, Don McLean, several of those.
Again.
The long version. The long version.
I love it.
That'd be pretty great. Dave wrote, Night Ranger, you can still rock in America. Hell yeah, you can. That'd be good. No, I'm all for it. I played a celebrity softball game once. Bunch of guys doing different radio shows, and so it wasn't gold medal music, but it was walk-up music.
Yeah.
They call you, you're like now playing, second baseman, now batting, Steve Gorman. And so my walk-up song was Led Zeppelin, Bring It On Home. As in, hey, I'm going to bring it on home. I'm going to knock you. It rocks, and there's a baseball possible connotation.
Very clever.
My co-host stepped up to the sounds of Cat Stevens' Morning Has Broken as he slowly made his way to the batter's box. That was always pretty great when I was like, well, it's one thing to say that and laugh, but then to go through with it every at-bat.
It's a nice touch.
Spectacular. Yeah, it was a very, very, very solid mood setter, if you will. AC/DC for those about to rock, that always works.
Yeah, any AC/DC will get the job done.
Kat from Becker says, no doubt I would pick Fat Bottom Girls. All right, Kat. I see you working out there.
Beautiful.
Hey, check this out. Billy Joel and Sting are going to share the stage for one night this November in Las Vegas. Billy Joel and Sting, I tell you. You could score a trip for 2 that's going to include round-trip airfare, a 2-night hotel stay, and tickets to the show at Allegiant Stadium. Right now, you just got to text the national keyword MAN, as in piano, MAN. Text MAN, M-A-N, to 95819 to enter for a chance to win. We also have spent a lot of time today on the phone and on the text line talking about stupid ways we have injured ourselves. A lot of great calls and text messages from there. If you want to get in, 651-989-ROCK, let us know. This was a pretty good one. I had some pretty good gashes on my arm and side a while back. I told everyone I got them fighting a mountain lion that was attacking my aunt's cattle. Yeah. Actually, I got too close to a mama cow's baby, and I got bumped into the barbed wire fence.
Yeah, the old mama cow baby.
How about this? I sprained my sternum in my sleep. I woke up with chest pain, fearing the worst. Nope, just a weird, rare injury that can happen if you're very overweight and a stomach sleeper.
Oh,
wow. A sprained sternum.
I didn't know you could sprain your sternum, but you live and you learn.
Sprain my sternum.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. This is a good one. I've broken the same ankle 3 times. All in stupid ways. The first, stepping onto an unmoving skateboard, only for it to immediately fly out from under me. The second was stepping off a curb. The third was stepping off an amusement park ride.
Oh.
Okay, I can relate to 2 of those 3. I broke my arm on a skateboard in 6th grade, my left elbow.
That sounds right. Yeah, many have. Yeah, right. But with the ankle turning there a bunch, I'm going to go with some high tops for you.
Yeah, get high tops, lace them up.
Lace them up tight. Both my girls went to the emergency room in the same day. Surprised social services wasn't called on me. Both in the same day, hours apart, for stepping off a curb and turning their ankle.
Really?
Yeah, we thought it broke it. Just swelled way up. Swollen, swiller. Got real big like that, black and blue. I thought it might be broken. Took her in. 3 hours later, the other one. I'm like, I cannot take you in on the same. All right, get in.
Man, that
Hop
is
over to
rough.
the truck. Here we go. Yeah.
That is brutal.
Neither one of them broken, however. Just, severe sprains.
The severe sprain, having broken bones and had a very severe ankle sprain, the sprain has more intense pain.
I would take the
in
break.
My experience.
And it takes longer to heal.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you just kind of want to get back to it. That high ankle sprain, it feels like it'll last. That happened to me, I think, my sophomore year in college football.
Yeah, months and months and months.
Oh, yeah.
It can be terrible. When I broke my arm on a skateboard, I was just learning. It was a one-day lesson. Learned it and then never did it again because I broke my arm at the end of it. Went down a guy's driveway and it took the driveway it was the kind that went down around the back of the house and then turned right into a carport. And I made the right turn, but I looked up and I saw a Chevy Blazer and then a pile of bricks. That was my choices were, which one of these two things do you want to run into?
Yeah.
And I decided I'll just jump off and avoid both. And I saw myself jumping and then landing and my feet being able to keep up with the speed. And I would run and then I would, like slow down. No, my feet hit and I just went like ass over elbows and ended up somehow with a broken arm. Nothing good at all. All right, KQ talking text line 651-989-ROCK. Ken, I believe we have Ken on the horn. Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, out here doing my yard work. When I was about 5 years old, we were living in New York. I jumped off a swing set with a popsicle in my mouth, and the stick went through the roof of my mouth.
Oh,
wow.
So,
No.
All I remember is I ate a lot of liquid food for quite some time.
Yeah, you did.
So every time I can feel it scar on the top of my roof. So that's my bad story for the day.
That's a pretty good bad story.
Plus he got the brain freeze.
On top of everything else.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for that. Thank you for the call.
You bet, guys.
That ranks right up there with the gal that sneezed while brushing her teeth and headbutted the faucet. She must lean over the sink, Yeah,
I'm falling.
Our good friend Chauncey Gorman, I watched him sneeze once, and he smashed his face into the floor on the sneeze. Jumped up like, the sneeze and then the pain.
I've almost hit the steering wheel a couple of times. I'm a big sneezer. I like to launch it, get it out.
Man, that's a rough one. I believe we have another caller. Is this Sean? Sean, you with us?
Yes.
What have you got for us, sir?
Hey, how you doing, guys? I missed you last winter when you guys were saying ski accidents, talking about ski accidents.
Oh, ski accidents, yeah.
So me and my friends, it was at Wild Mountain back in the 80s, and we just passed a jump. So we were like, my buddy was like, hey, I'll lay down here under the jump, and you jump over me.
Yes.
Nice. Sounds like a great idea at the time. So I sidestep up the mountain another 2-3 yards. I want to get a good run at it.
Yeah.
I hit the jump, and I'm acting like Eddie the Eagle. I'm leaning forward. I'm kind of pro. And all of a sudden, here comes the ground. Oh, my head shouldn't be going down first. Landed right on my head.
Oh, yeah.
Snow everywhere.
Boom.
I got a pain in the back of my leg, and I got a broken ski pole. And so I limp on down to the bathroom. I look in the back. Nothing in the back, but in the front, I have a puncture wound about the size of a dime, and it's about about a good 1.5 inches deep. And I just fainted right there.
Yeah, right. Ski pole.
I just fainted right there. And apparently the ski broke, the pole broke and went right into my upper thigh.
Towser.
An 1.5 inches away from my NASDAQ.
Oh.
So my friends picked me up like a cradle to cradle me to the doctor there, and he looks at me, looks at it, and he's like, he goes, I can't do anything for you. So me and my buddy drive after the third run, so they're pissed at me. They're like, we only got 3 runs in, and we got to drive all the way to Edina to get me stitched up with 6 stitches, and they're all mad at me, so I gave them the rest of my quarter. A little bit of peppermint schnapps and weed didn't have anything to do with it.
Oh, Sean, well, that was a solid move. You got yourself back. Sean, you're the reason riding the chairlift can be entertaining. It's boring for a lot of people, but I like to keep my head on a swivel looking for guys getting way out in front of their skis. That's fun.
Yeah.
Glad you did not, pierce a nad.
I know.
Kebab the nad. Woo.
Then that was a month before I was going skiing in Germany to visit my uncle, and my mom's like, I knew you would screw this up.
That's what moms are for. A little positive reinforcement and some sweet understanding.
Brutal. That's awesome. Thanks for the call, man.
Yeah, love you guys.
Thank you, brother.
See you. I love it.
Wow. Steve, in 2025, we're going to be 60.
Oh, thanks for the reminder. Let me get to 59 first, and then we'll talk about 60.
Yeah, let's not be leapfrogging any birthdays here.
One day at a time, brother. Thank you for the call. That's a good one. Here's another one I'm reading.
Why don't you jump me? Sounds good. What could possibly go wrong?
Nothing could ever go wrong. I've dislocated my shoulder many ways. Some of my favorites: turning off a light switch.
Yeah.
Taking off a jacket. Retrieving a bobber from the lake. Once that shoulder goes out, it's going to go out again.
Take much. I pulled a muscle in my neck so bad that I couldn't turn my head at work, and this was many years ago. And so people start to notice that you're turning your entire body to talk to you. All right, I'm like, I can't turn my neck. What happened? I was checked my blind spot while I was driving a little quickly. Just snapped that head back there like I was a young man. And yeah, I mean, how do you tell people that that's how you injured your neck, checking the blind spot while you were driving? Sorry, I'm a careful driver.
There's a text from Matt. He says, I've thrown my back out too many times to count. The strangest ways have definitely been while turning over in bed. And then one time I even threw it out while sitting down with my morning coffee. Now, check this one. I was sitting on the couch. This is a different one. This is not from Matt. I was sitting on the couch doing payroll, my laptop on my lap, all the charts and papers placed around me. I needed to pass gas, but I knew I couldn't move or everything would fall. So I just decided to lift my left butt cheek and let it go. Nobody else was home. Well, when I did that, my back went out. I screamed and everything fell. I called my elderly father and I said, how do you know you're getting old? He said, how? I said, when you fart and your back goes up. Wow. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll definitely do it. I tell you what, I've been around some farts where you would imagine someone broke their back, but as far as I know, it didn't happen.
At least tore some tissue.
651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talking text line. Ron is on the horn. Ron, good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. I have a water skiing story, not snow skiing like Zepp, but in my early 20s in southeast Minneapolis, we were on a little lake. We'd gotten off work. It was glass. It was perfect. There was one other boat on the entire lake. It decided I was on one ski, and that other boat decided to cut in front of us, and the wake from that boat slapped me forward down into the water.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, what happened was my ski came off, shot down to the bottom, hit the bottom, shot back up, and hit my eye about 1/4 inch above the bone, or above the eye itself, just on the bone. So, of course, I waved my hand that I'm okay. I know that I was hurt, but I didn't think it was bad. And the boat came back around to pick me up, and they're laughing, and all of a sudden they stop laughing, and the side of the boat starts turning red from the blood spurting out of my eye. The hard part about it was we got to the hospital. It was a full moon, and we all know what happens on full moons in hospitals. They gave me some Novocaine in my eye, and the doctor was so busy that he'd do a couple stitches. I needed like 12. Fortunately, I had no vision loss, but he'd have to run and attend to some person in worse peril than me, and by the time that he got to the 8th stitch, the Novocaine had worn off, and he did not believe me, and it was pure pain.
Oh, man. Can you you got 12 in there. Just let's sewing machine let's get the button on the shirt, Doc, before you run back down the hallway. I understand triage and all that, but yeah, I'd like, just give me a mirror and a needle while I'm all Novocained up. I can't believe that ski hit the bottom and came back and hit you in the... I've never heard of that.
It shot back up,
crazy.
And if it would have been a quarter inch lower, I would have taken my eye out. So I feel pretty lucky.
Yeah.
I stumbled into work the next day, and people told me immediately to go home because it had just swollen up and it looked horrid. So I played that card for a couple days.
Got to. Yeah, you gotta get your money's worth out of that one. Appreciate the call, brother. Thank you.
Hey, my pleasure. You guys are doing a great job. Thanks for everything.
You got it. Thank you. Here's our last one of the day. I was working at a winter carnival for college students. During the marshmallow eating contest, some of the kids started throwing marshmallows around. So I jumped on stage and told them to stop with the classic, hey, it's all fun and games, until no sooner than I said that, I was beamed in the eye with a marshmallow. It tore my cornea, and I had to go to the ER. The doctor asked if it was a big marshmallow or a mini. He also asked if it was toasted and or on a stick. When I had to apply for workers' comp, I had to check off the item incorrect use of object.
Oh, my God. That's hilarious.
I never got hit in the eye with a marshmallow. I did have a guy struck a match across a table from me, and a tiny... minuscule piece of that match. What do you call the part of the match that lights?
I don't know.
But a little tiny ember flew off, and it was a darkened restaurant, and I saw it. I tracked it flying across the table, and it went right into my eye.
Oh, it singed your eye?
Yeah, I was like, yeah! And I screamed, and everybody laughed, and I'm like, no, it really just went into my eye. It was a big dinner, like 15 people around a huge table, and everybody stopped, and I was like, yeah, I'm not making this up. It was awful. But, I was okay. I got through it all right. All right, we got one more call, I believe. Dwayne, are you with us, sir? Dwayne.
Yeah.
Good morning. What do you got for us?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people say you can't remember when you're 4 years old. I remember. I'll be 68 pretty soon. I was pushing a piece of rebar around, acting like it was a car, and my mom told me it was time to come in for lunch, so I went to park my car. I hit a drop-off, and 6 inches into my sack.
My sack.
And that was painful enough. And then my dad, he puts his foot on my hip, and he pulls it out.
Well, that's,
Thanks, Pops.
But it didn't sterilize me. I got kids, so everything's good.
Okay, all right. Very good.
I mean, you win in the you show me your scar and I'll show you my scar competition.
Yeah, we all remember when you were 4 now. We'll never forget. Appreciate it.
No.
Thank you for that, Dwayne. Appreciate the call, brother.
Yeah, have a good day, guys.
You got it.
Dad puts the foot on the hip, and here we're going to do this on 1, 2, 1, 2, and yank out. All right.
Oh, it's time to look back.
Speak into the mic, bitch.
July 31st, 2007, the Minnesota Timberwolves brought Al Jefferson, Sebastian Telfair, Theo Ratliff, Ryan Gomes, Gerald Green, and 2 first-round draft picks aboard. But in order to do that, they let go, of course, of Kevin Garnett. I think the Celtics got the better of the deal as they won a title very shortly thereafter. The Celtics got Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen they added them to Paul Pierce, and that threesome was basically enough to do it. For the Timberwolves, still waiting for that title.
Well,
we'll see what happens.
How many of those numbers were retired?
That's a very good point. And it was the Timberwolves right now looking pretty good. But, man, after that trade, after trading away local hero KG, those were some lean years, to be sure.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.